Dear Diary, looks like the part for my car accidentally shipped to another mechanic. So frustrating. It's going to be a few more days until it arrives. I want to go home. I wasn't going to visit Sheena today, but somehow I felt drawn to, like a moth to a flame.
Welcome to my Pretty Witchin Halloween series. Today we're going to be making this awesome potion rack. Stay tuned. Be sure to take a screenshot of today's project details. Now let's get started. Slip all 8 cords into your metal ring. Once you have them centered, secure your cords using a gathering knot. If you're unfamiliar with your knots, feel free to check out my knot tutorial playlist. I'll link it in the cards above. Or feel free to tap the 3 dots on the top right corner to adjust the speed. However, to make a gathering knot, you make a loop at the end of a separate piece of cord, you wrap it around, and then you stick the long tail end through the loop and then cut off the excess cords. Next, divide your cords in half. You should have 8 cords on either side, and tie a row of square knots. For this pattern, all we're tying is alternating square knots all the way down the side of our shelf. I will keep this portion in real time for you so you can see what I'm doing, but after that I'm going to motor on through. Once you're finished your first row of 2 square knots, we're going to be moving on to the second row. To alternate your square knots, we're going to take the middle 4 cords and tie another square knot. For this row, we can only fit 1 square knot. Alrighty, moving along to the third row, we're going to tie another row of alternating square knots. So this time it's going to be 2 square knots in this row again. So for this pattern, we're just going to continue on doing 23 rows of alternating square knots. Once you're finished with the first side, we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Next, grab your board with the holes drilled on opposite sides. When we ended our square knots, we ended on a row that had 2 square knots in the row. So now we're going to take the 2 middle cords and pull it through the hole of our board. Adjust your cords evenly on each side, and then we're going to tie a square knot right underneath the bottom of the hole. Take care to tie this square knot really taut. This is the knot that the board sits on, so just make sure that it's really taut. And of course, we're going to be doing the exact same thing to the opposite side of the board. At this point, I decided to abandon my rolling rack and hang it on the wall. Next, we're tying 20 more rows of alternating square knots. Now we need to attach our second board the same way we attached the first one. To secure the ends, we're going to tie another gathering knot right underneath the bottom. Make sure that this knot is also tight as well. So I'd like to add a little disclaimer here. This shelf is mostly decorative, but it is also functional as well. Do not place anything breakable or heavy on this shelf, and when you do place items on it, make sure that it's balanced on each side. I don't recommend putting mason jars full of fingers and eyeballs on the shelf. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, I hope you consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one. Don't worry, they're just cookies. I'll give you the recipe.